Now back to the interview part. How did soldiers entertain themselves, or how did you specifically entertain yourself?
Oh, we joked around, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a, this is fun. We got pulled back and I got a Red Cross package for my family,
Right.
right? So I took the peanuts out. I love peanuts and
Yeah.
cookies, chocolate, you know. I put it on the side, but when I put the box down, it still felt heavy.
Yeah.
Didn't make sense. The box is empty.
Yeah.
Yet there's weight.
Yeah.
So I go inside and because my eyes were 20/20 then. You know?
Yeah.
I pull it out, a cover. What's underneath? A pint of Johnny Walker.
Oh, no.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
He's the one that did it. So, geez, the guy saw it. Holy Christ, they grabbed it from me, broke the thing, boom on there. Now,
Okay, so Johnny Walker.
yeah, we were 5 guys with us, Broughton, Waite, Taylor, and the son of a bitch drank, and there's about that much left for me.
They stole it on you?
I said, thanks a lot, you shut.
Oh, jeez.
And I had a little sip, you know.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was fun. That was, guy
Yeah.
got a, hey, can you get another box? They call it. Yeah.
So they snuck it. Your brother gave you a good gift there. Now, did you guys see any entertainers at all when you were over there?
Yes, yes. I saw Bob Hope.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
How was he?
I
So.
could tell you a lot about Bob Hope. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to hear.
I've heard a lot of different stories about him. I've probably heard some along your lines. Yeah, I bet.
Him and Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Reims. No, wrong. My headquarters was in right next to the Czechoslovakian border when the war was over, and he came down. The fellas we were all out in the outskirts of town, you know, and doing occupation, in other words. We went down and we saw him, Bob Hope, but we didn't see Bing Crosby, but Jerry Colonna.
Oh, yeah?
You remember Jerry Colonna?
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
You know, mustache.
Yeah.
He was great. The fella's terrific.
Good
You know?
laugh.
Oh, he's good. But Hope was,
Yeah.
when Hope was in the Pacific, entertaining the guys during the war.
Right.
One of the yeah. Okay, I hate this when I can't.
No, it's
One of the Marines.
right.
One of the Marines got up and says, "How comes you're not in the service?" Because he was young enough then,
Yeah.
you know. How comes you're not in the goddamn service when here we are, you know?
Right.
He has a golf club in his hand, you know. He's golf crazy. Him and Bing played golf.
Yeah.
They play golf with the women too. So he says, "I don't have to." He's got the golf club in his hand, you know.
Right.
He says, "I don't have to go in the service. I entertain, you know."
Yeah.
Some of the guys didn't like that. Yeah.
Now, what did you do when on leave?
Like any other guy, you know. Yeah, I went to France when I got out of the hospital. I gave us a 3-day pass for any what they call the fellows that were wounded. They had a name, and I can't even think of it too. Anyway, they earned a 3-day pass. They can go, you know, where they want.
Right.
And I went to Paris. And Paris is beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you know Paris was called a free you can't say town, it's a free city.
Yeah.
You never saw anything so beautiful in your life, Paris.
Have you been
The
back?
Huh?
Did you go back after that?
After the war, no.
No.
I was supposed to go in the 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
My wife wanted me to go, but
Yeah.
I didn't. The German officer, Hitler, said, destroy Paris. That was an order from Hitler.
Right.
The general there said, no, Paris is too beautiful and big
Yeah.
city. She says, it would be awful to destroy such a city.
Right.
And they didn't do it, but they retreated.
Yeah.
You should have seen what they did when they retreated. The FFI, the Free French Fighters, in other words,
Right.
they were throwing Molotov cocktails. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gasoline in a bottle
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
with a rag. They lit it and they throw it, and it goes all over the tanks, all over the soldiers. They're burning. They're being burned. You know, as they get out. So, and they were being killed as they march out. Oh, it was hell. But they saved Paris, that general. And you know what they did during the after the war
What's that?
in Paris on the Champs-Élysées? You know what that is?
I'm not.
That's the largest street in Paris,
Okay.
and it's where the unknown soldier, the burning of the thing burns continually
Okay.
for the unknown soldier. And it's just not quite where the Eiffel Tower is. And they took the girls that fraternized with the Germans, cut all their hair off. They were bald. And they marched them in the streets. They threw stones at them, spit at them.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to them after that.
Terrible.
Yeah, they lived with the Germans, went to bed with the Germans.
Now,
War is hell, I'll tell you.
did you travel anywhere else when you were in service?
I tried to go to my country, Lithuania,
Yeah.
but like I say, the Russians stopped me.
Right.
They wouldn't let me through.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or an unusual event that occurred?
I'll tell you something, not humorous, but it really puzzled me even to today.
Yeah.
In one town, in the second or third town we took from Carentan, we pushed the Germans out of this town, and all of a sudden a lot of the French people come out.
Right.
Where the hell were they, you know? And there was one man there, he was like in rags in a sense, and he had a little boy about 4 or 5 years old. His name was Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
And they were standing there on the side, and we got pulled back, and we were getting fed, a hot meal finally. And as I was eating with my cup there, and they were looking, I could see in their eyes, they were hungry.
Yeah.
So I had a friend that I got a picture of him and something else that I got. I finished my meal, and I said, can I have seconds, He said, yeah. So he gave me seconds and everything, and I gave it to the father.
Oh,
He
yeah.
ate, and then
To his
he
boy.
gave it to the son,
Yeah.
I tried to get thirds. They gave me a little more, and I gave it to the son,
Yeah.
And he said, Ed, he asked me my division, so forth, of being French, with us. I say, it's all right to talk, because normally you don't talk.
Yeah.
You just give name, rank, and serial number.
Yeah.
But I told him, my name, and the 83rd Thunderbolt Division, that's what we are.
Right.
And he says, I'll never forget you, as long as I live,
Yeah.
for you feeding me and my boy.
Huh.
And he took out a match cover, and he wrote in Paris where he's going to stay after the war. If we take Paris, he says, when you take Paris, he says,
Yeah.
you come and visit me when you get a chance.
Right.
Well, we fought, kept going, That's what I did.
Yeah.
When I went back to Paris, I went looking. So I showed the driver this address.
Yeah.
Well, it was right on the Champs-Élysées. There's 5 avenues, in other words,
Right.
on the Champs-Élysées, and this is big money. The
Yeah.
Champs-Élysées, all those avenues.
Were you able to meet up with him?
I did.
Did he remembered you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, it was funny. The driver drove me there, right, and he told me the house. You know, I'm looking at this beautiful big building.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't forget, Paris. They named it free, so it wasn't bombed or anything. You know, the
Yeah.
Germans would do. So I got on an elevator and I went up, and I had the B apartment so far. So I knocked. And the butler opens the door.
They had a butler.
Butler.
Yeah.
I looked at him, and he said in French, you know, what do you want?
Yeah.
So I'm talking in English. I said, I want to see Peter, and I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And he heard my voice.
Right.
He spoke fluent English, better English than you or me.
But French
Yeah,
man
he
did.
must have been taught in England, you know.
Yeah.
So he's well educated. Well, so he said, come on in, come on in. And he had a beautiful room. The table was from their door to here. So he must have entertained people at one time, believe me.
Right.
So we were talking, and he said, let's go downstairs. He says, and I'll tell you all about the planes. We had all the planes all around the Arc de Triomphe and Unknown Soldier. And he was telling me the horsepower on the P-38s. He was telling me the horsepower on the P-51, and the Messerschmitt, the German plane,
Yeah.
and the English plane, the Spitfire.
Yeah.
I myself, I don't know who this guy is, but whatever he is,
He knew his stuff, huh?
he knew his stuff, right? So we talked a little more, and he says, it's good to see you, Ed. You made it so far. Yeah, I'm lucky. And he said, well, I gotta go back. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, he says, I'll never forget you and my son Pierre.
Yeah.
I'll never forget you. Pierre come on, put his arm around
He
me.
was still. Did he get a little bigger? That was it.
Oh yeah, he's a little bigger, and you
Yeah.
could see the way he was dressed.
Yeah.
He looked like little Lord Fauntleroy. You know,
Yeah.
the white shirt, the little vest, the tie. Oh God! I finally thinking of it. I have a hunch at one time or now he went underground, and I think he was an ambassador
For France to
for
America.
France.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why he went underground, because he didn't want to be caught. He knew too much.
Yeah.
You know, and they would interrogate him, and then they probably would kill him.
Do you remember his last name?
I can't remember his name for hell or high water.
Wow.
No.
That's quite the story, though. I've never
Yeah.
heard anything like that.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah.
probably very happy to see
And
it.
say, you know, you you see things, you meet things.
That's pretty. That's really unique. I've never heard anything like that. Now, more to the humor side. Were there any pranks that you or others would pull on each other?
Oh, gee. You got to mention, we were in the States.
Right.
We were on the rifle range. Right. Well, this fella named Crab, going in the chow line with our mess gear, someone just happened to touch him here. Whew. The food went up in the air, the can up in the air, everything. He was so touching, you couldn't touch him, you know. He started kicking.
Was he ticklish or something?
Huh?
Was he ticklish?
Oh,
They just
Jesus.
didn't like
Right,
people sneaking up on
right. If anyone pull that goddamn thing, I'll kill him.
him.
So anyway, what does he do? He goes down and he picks up a cottonmouth rattler,
What's that?
a snake.
Oh,
Cottonmouth rattler.
a
They're,
rattlesnake.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he picked him up. He wasn't afraid of him. Picked him up, held him by the mouth, you know.
Yeah.
So he put him under the blanket. Peter, this fella, that was trained, you know, with us.
Yeah.
They double sheeted it, so he couldn't get out, you know. when you go back in your tent, you know, you take the blanket and so forth, put it on you, and you sleep with your clothes on. Yeah. So Peter's looking and he sees this moving in the blanket like this. He never went out the front way because he had to go by that snake in the bed.
Yeah.
He went out the back way. He pulled the whole tent and everything, pegs and all, out of the
Just running.
running.
Ran through the
And
the
the
wall.
tent was hanging, you know.
Oh jeez. He was just scared when he saw it.
You
or
better believe it. He was scared. He pulled the tent, pegs, everything.
Oh jeez.
The CO came up, the captain. He said, "You." He says, "That guy got hurt with a snake or something." He says, "I'll fix that goddamn." Whoever did it, we kept quiet.
Yeah.
So he said, "No more fooling around." They burned one guy's foot with the Burmite used to light, and we could warm our canteen, you know, cover for.
Yeah.
That's in the States. You don't do that overseas.
No.
But he burnt the kid's foot. Yeah, the kid had to be pushed to the hospital. Yeah. Ah.
What did you think of officers or fellow soldiers?
Lieutenant Turner, who was killed, I tell you, he's one hell of a soldier.
Yeah.
He was, yeah. I had a little disagreement with him, and I was busted, but I tell you, he's one hell of a soldier. I saw him get married.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
After,
He got
after.
Yeah, he got married during the service in the States in Fort Leonard, and they had crossed swords with all those officers, you know.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like Lieutenant Turner.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got married, you know, and he had a little time with his wife. Yeah, I don't know how long he had, a furlough, a month or so, whatever. What are you going to do?
Now, did you keep a personal diary when you were over there?
No.
No. Do you recall the day your service ended?
Yeah, I was discharged on Fort Devens, Massachusetts. I was discharged December 5th.
December 5th?
December 5th, 1945. You people probably never heard of a cigarette camp.
Camp? Cigarette camp? I haven't. No.
Cigarette camp. This is where the fellas were going home. I was supposed to be going home when the captain called me up. He says, "You got enough points?" I didn't know about all this, and which he knew. He says, "You're going home." I said, "I'm going home. How the hell can I be going home, you know?"
Yeah.
I said, "You got to have 85 points." He says, "You got more." You know, I see something. I must have got something, you know, that's all I knew. If I got more than 85 points. Because all they took is 1 point for the States,
Right.
and that was 12 or 13 points for me. 2 points for overseas. I had a year and a half. So you get 2 points for that, right? So a year and a half, 18, 36 plus 13, what, 49 is it? Yeah. And the rest, the 60 some odd points I got in my combat medals. So gave me 109 points. So, but when you're in a cigarette camp, you had no way of getting home. So instead of being discharged in June, which I was supposed to be with my points, they stuck me in a cigarette camp in I think it was Camp Chester. I was in Camp Chesterfield, I believe.
Where's that?
That's in Le Havre, France.
Okay.
And we're waiting to go home. And no ships. They went on strike in New York Harbor. The longshoremen, they went on strike.
Right.
Nothing was moving. They went on strike in California. No ships were moving. How the hell can we get home?
Yeah.
So I wound up getting stuck.
In France?
5 months in France, in Le Havre.
Right.
Guess who took me home? I even got the papers
Who's
there, but you didn't see it.
Yeah.
I said, I got more memorabilia.
Take a look at that after.
Oh, if you want.
Absolutely.
I got home, ship from the Pacific came
Oh, from the Pacific came.
came to pick us up from the Bahar, France. Guess who ship?
Who?
Roosevelt.
Really?
His personal ship. It was a heavy cruiser,
Wow.
big ship, heavy cruiser, 15-inch guns on it.
Who was on board?
This captain, who was a colonel in the Navy, when you say captain, that's a rank of a colonel, in other words, not like the Army.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you about me saving poor guys' lives, and I even take a lie detector test if I want to prove it. We went out, and about third or fourth day, the Atlantic is the worst time to cross the Atlantic. Never cross Atlantic in December, because this is November. I got on the USS.
This was a presidential ship?
Yes, his personal presidential ship in the Pacific.
You don't remember the name? USS?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. USS. God, Eddie. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
When I try to rush something in the same way, even
take your
with Ben.
time.
Yeah, even when you eat, I said, Ben, what'd you eat?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're old. Well, anyway, hard. And we hit a storm you wouldn't believe.
Right.
Oh, God, the ship was doing this. In fact, it got out, the fantails, the propellers
Yeah.
would be out of water, and they would shake that whole goddamn rear end of the ship, Oh, and then jump, it would go into water again, and come up. And meanwhile, we were Thanksgiving Day.
On the water?
Huh?
On the water?
Yeah, I had Thanksgiving Day coming home on the water, because I got on in La Havre, France, I got on the 26th. Thanksgiving was the 28th, I think. Anyway, 24th, I got on the ship, 25. 2-3 days anyway. Well, they were serving turkey and nice. And we were going on the tray there. They had a regular, thing you slide your trays on the ship. And they were all bolted because, storms and everything. And so we were getting fed there, and the ship went up, almost went that way, because he got hit broadside. He tried to turn into the wave, right in the bow of the ship.
Yeah.
And so the sailor got his tray, and he's starting to walk, and then he had to go back because of the ship. He hit his back and broke his back.
Who was this?
The sailor.
Oh, yeah.
The sailor on the ship. So anyway, we finished eating. I was amazed and how well they ate and all. So during the storm, the fellas, 2 Army guys who were going home, I didn't know them at all. And that was my guard duty then. I was wearing a poncho in the rain and all, and I wasn't seasick. It didn't bother me.
That's incredible, because it probably sounded like it was pretty choppy.
Yeah. And it didn't bother me when I was pulling guard duty and I had my poncho on, and I'm hiding behind like a wall so the water won't hit me. And this one guy comes out from the bottom of the ship, climbs up the ladder, and he's seasick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I peeked. He was showing up fuel and everything.
Wow.
Leave me alone, let me die, let me die. He was going for the ropes. There's only 2 ropes.
Yeah.
That's it, So I come out, I got a hold of him, I got the arm and back of him, I got him by the neck. I could kill him easy if I wanted to. That's what we're trained for. And I got him back, and And I got him down the steps, and I said, "Get him down the goddamn sick bay." That's the French. That's the Navy's way of saying, the hospital. That's sick bay. And I get him in the hospital, in the sick bay. So they did. And I got back, and the water shook all over me, and like that, Another one. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I want to die. I want to die. He started going for the railing again. He didn't care. You want to get in the water. He must be awful to get seasick. Anyway, I got him the same way and got him up and kind of pushed him down.
You would have went overboard if you didn't do. You would have went overboard potentially, right? He could have went overboard, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it was so choppy.
Yeah. Oh God, it was awful. But I got him back, and I was able to keep my balance, I got him down there, and then I went back behind my wall, and I had another half hour, so the ship was going up and down, up and down. So anyway, my duty was, finished. Right. So I went down to I went down to the galley, where you can have coffee and stuff, and the cook was there, and who was there but the captain? He was there. Yeah. So I was having coffee, and he looked at me, and he looked at the combat infantry badge and all. I only carried the infantry badge. I didn't have anything else. Yeah. But he saw the infantry badge, and he looked, and he said, "You're an infantryman." What the hell did you go in the infantry for? Jesus Christ, we could have used you in the Navy.
Because if you didn't get sick on that, you would have never gotten seasick ever, man.
Oh, Jesus.
That's good.
So that's two of the guys that I won. One in the States, two on the ship, and I saved one during combat. We finished the battle and the thing there, and I stopped the driver to take a leak. And I heard someone moaning. I don't know, guy. I think he's in C Company. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think he was in our battalion, or in our company. But I didn't know him. Anyway, I got a hold of him. The bullet creased him here. Yeah. Yeah. But it didn't quite get into the temple. And he was lucky. He was bleeding. Yeah. So I got him. I put him on my arm, and I told the driver, "Hey, medic. Let's head for the medics, Yeah. And he drove quick, and we dropped them off. I don't know the guy. That's 4 guys, one in the States, 2 on the ship, and so I did my duty there. I saved 4 guys.
Now, after you were discharged, what did you do the days and the weeks afterward?
Well, that's tough because I suffered from post-traumatic stress. I didn't know what the hell it was. Yeah. I had no idea what the hell was bothering me, what was troubling me. I don't know. I joined the 5220 club. What's that? That's the club that they have. Connecticut gave it. Yeah. I don't know about other states, but Connecticut, they gave you 52 weeks in a year, right? They give you $20 a week. They got that from the cigarettes. They raised the cigarette taxes then. Oh, yeah. And that's how we got our 5220 club. And that tax is still on today. Yeah. And more.
Now, did you go right back to work, or did you go to school at all?
5220 club, I took about 5 months, something like that. Yeah. And I went to work in, I did go to school. Oh, yeah. But I went to work in 46, because I was discharged December 5th, 1945. So I worked for a while in clock shop to help my mother. Because my father was gone, we lost everything, depression. Right. And I worked in the Bolton's in West Haven, Bolton's manufacturing. During the beginning of the war, they all converted. This was a woodwork plant. Right. Well, they converted into making distributors for the Navy. We made 1830s for the bombers and the fighter planes, and 1830, and they call Wasp. The Wasp were 8 cylinders. They were primarily for trainers, training planes, you know, so the fellow can learn how to fly and so forth. And the 1830s were for bombers and fighter planes.
Yeah.
Fighter planes had two of them. They hooked together, they bolted on the engine and so forth. And I didn't have to go, because the fellow that checked that, they went on, what do they call it? 10, there's a name, 10% of the whole product, in other words, 10% of there's a name for it. I tell you, you got me too old.
You're pretty sharp yet. Trust me, you're very sharp yet. Now you said you went back to school a little bit too?
I did.
Where did you go?
In 46, I went to Boston, and back then, I always loved flowers.
Yeah.
And back then, it was all men that were the florists.
Right.
Because the florist, then there was no easy way like today.
Yeah.
Anyone can become a florist because it's so easy to make up things.
Yeah.
But then I went to school in Boston. There's only 2 schools, one in Boston and one in California.
Right.
And the veterans backed me up on and played the school for me to
under the GI Bill?
GI Bill.
Yeah.
And I think it was 8 months or something for that school.
Yeah.
And they just paid for the schooling.
Yeah.
I had to work after school. I worked in a gas station, pumping gas and so forth, changing oil and all that. Right. And I had to live in Boston too. I had to pay for my rent.
Yeah.
So I finished that, and I still didn't know what the hell was bothering me about the post-traumatic stress.
Right.
I have no idea. And anyway, I went to work for a florist in New Haven.
This was after you went through the courses. It was what?
After I went through the courses.
Yeah.
I I was hired by Myers Florist Shop in New Haven. I don't know if they're there now. Anyway, I was making up stuff, you know, helping them and carrying. Used to make, like, if you wanted a gladioli, I think you know what that is, a big flower.
Big
You
flower.
tie them up years ago.
Yeah.
That would weigh 50 pounds, 40, 50 pounds. The women couldn't.
Right.
That's why more men were florists then. Today, all women.
Yeah.
Because they got artificial means of doing flowers, plus they also got a sponge thing that sucks up the water, and you can stick the flowers in it any way you want, an arrangement.
It was still a trade, though.
And, oh yeah, it's still a trade, yeah. And you can make up corsages, or in fact, while I was in school, I was fortunate enough of being good enough to go to this show they had in Boston. They had models from Boston, the models.
Mm-hmm.
They give them presentation bouquets, corsages, and all that. I was working with the best designer in New England.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's from I think she's from New Hampshire, but she's the best designer from Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts. And it shows me and her in the paper. I'm making up stuff, giving it to her.
Yeah.
Now you had to be fast, you know.
I bet.
And then I had a picture of it and myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. I found out much later on what it was, but years went by.
Yeah.
But the post-traumatic stress I had, I was working in the florist there, and this woman, we had millionaires.
Yeah.
We dealt with millionaires in our florist business.
Right.
And this woman calls up and starts to order, and she said, charge it to, I can't even think of her name, and I know her name. I can't think of it now, but they were a family was very rich.
Right.
Anyway, I said, well, who should I charge it to? She gave me the name. Well, we had 4 names like that.
Yeah.
So I said, is this G? It'll come to me. Is this G so far? B so far? You know?
Yeah.
She said, you don't know the Godders.
Yeah.
That's the name. She said, you don't know the Godders?
Huh.
I said, no. I said, I just want to make sure I charge the right person for the order, you know?
Right.
You don't know the Godders? She kept saying it.
Yeah.
That did it. That broke the camel's back for me.
Yeah.
I said, God damn it, do you know me?
Yeah.
I was mad. And the boss come running over. Oh, Jesus. You don't talk to customers like that. You know?
Yeah.
So she come over. She was a woman. She says, oh, you got to forgive him. He just come out of service. He helped fight, you know, keep the country free,
Yeah.
so forth. And he suffers from, well, we call it shell shock
Right.
in our day. So, you know, they smoothed it over. You know?
Yeah.
And I said, this, no, I can't take this.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
So I quit.
Right.
And I went to work on guns. I like guns. I've been
Yeah.
using guns since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I went to work for Marlins for a
Okay.
couple of years. Yeah, Marlins just went out of business. They've been in business since 1850 something.
Right.
And they just went out. And I wanted more money because I was working hard. I was in the range in Marlins too, shooting.
Yeah.
So I told him, what the hell does it mean? Just going to say his name, the personnel manager. Anyway, I said, look, I says, I'm like, you know, more raise. I'm putting out more guns. And so forth. He said, well, we can't give you any more, Ed. He says, you're getting top money now.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm going to give you 2 weeks notice then because High Standard wanted me in the range.
Okay.
And they were going to give me, back then it was a lot of money. They were going to give me 25 cents more and boost it up to 50 cents more,
Yeah.
which was a hell of a
That was
jump
good.
in them days. Well, they said, yeah, but you work for Marlins. You work for a High Standard. You make one mistake, you're through.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'll make sure I don't make that mistake.
Right. And how long did you work for them for?
Oh, 22 years.
And you retired from there?
No, I didn't. I worked 22 years there, and because Swabelius, who owned High Standard, they were wonderful. They sold it to Leisure Group,
Okay.
an outfit from California. I did not like Leisure Group. I didn't like the way they operated. They were using that for tax purposes.
Yeah.
That's
When they changed the name, you mean?
That's right. And
But
they
it was
went
still
into
the same
Leisure
company,
Group. They used the same name, High Standard, but it was Leisure Group that owned the company. And they used it for tax purposes. They lowered everything. No more field testing with the guns or anything, you know.
Right.
And we made the best target pistol in the world. Sweden was the only one that was close to us.
Yeah.
And so I left. I left in 71.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was making very good money, incidentally. I was making then. If you made $5,000 then a year, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Average was 3,000. Even the teachers. One of my teachers in high school,
Yeah.
that's what she made, $3,500 a year. You know what they make today?
For teachers?
Yeah.
40, 50,000? No.
They're the highest paid in the country. Connecticut.
Yeah.
72,000.
Wow.
Once they get tenure,
Yeah.
you got to get tenure.
Yeah.
Then you can really. I still have one of the coaches, teacher, come and visit me.
Yeah.
I went into the school system.
Oh, you did? What'd you do?
I went outside maintenance.
Yeah.
When quitting there, people don't know that when you quit and don't get a job,
Yeah.
you're lowering your Social Security.
Right.
Because that takes you off on your Social Security. So people think because, they laid off, they're going to get workman's compensation.
Right.
That's taken off on your Social Security.
Yeah.
It's a losing thing. And I knew this. So I went right back to work. So what did I do? In fact, I went down to the employment office and she said, "Well, what'd you do for a living?" I told her, I've been working with guns. You work on guns all your life. Well, what'd you do? And I started to tell her how I did, and I shot and everything.
Yeah.
I met Harry Belafonte. I met the singer. They all watched us shoot. General LeMay, I met him, and other celebrities. But back at the employment office there, I was telling her how we work with the guns, work with the Sears and all.
Right.
And she says, "My God, you're over, what the hell?"
Qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. I'm overqualified. I said, "I'm what?"
Yeah.
She says, "You're way overqualified. Can't give you a job." I said, "The hell with you." I walked out, and I decided, I looked in the paper, and they were looking for guys out in high maintenance in Cheshire, because I lived in Cheshire. Yeah, I live in Cheshire.
Yeah.
And I worked, this fella, Papa, I shouldn't use his name, he's dead. I said, "Am I going to work for him or with him?"
Yeah.
So they says, "Oh, no, you're going to work with him."
Yeah.
Well, he disappeared. He'd stay an hour working, cutting, and he put the, the machine there, grass cutter, on the truck again, and he'd go. I wouldn't see him all day, but I'd be using the tractor and a flail cutter.
Right.
What I was doing, I did four schools that day. So when I come in, I'm working on the mower, cleaning it and so forth. I hear him talking to the boss of the fellow. I don't want to give you his name, and it can be on the thing. So he says, "Oh yeah, we mind you, we cut 4 schools, 5 schools,
Yeah.
I heard him. I walked right into that room, grabbed him. He was 6'2".
Yeah.
Grabbed him by the shirt and shoved him. He went right on me.
Yeah.
And I thought, "Come on,
Yeah.
come on, that's it. See what the hell you made of it. Come on,
Yeah.
chicken. He's yellow."
Yeah.
And I'd love to hit him. I had a few fights in my day,
Yeah.
and I can hit. In fact, the guy that I fought with was a fighter,
Yeah.
and I knocked him on his butt when I was 16 years old.
Now, back to the service.
Yep.
Did you make any close friendships when you were in the service?
Well, they were all far away from me.
Yeah.
I had a friend, Bobby Garino. We grew up together. We were like brothers.
Yeah.
And we promised each other when we were 12 years old, he'd be my best man, I'd be his best man.
Yeah.
We held it.
Yeah.
I was his best man for his wife, he was best man for my wife.
Now, did you guys?
He stayed in the Navy.
He stayed in the Navy.
He stayed in the Navy. He went back 2 years. He stayed out 2 years. He was first class. He went back. They demoted him to second class, but he worked right up to chief.
Wow.
And I think he wound up to, I'm not sure, but he was an electrician mate. He went to school in the Navy, and I think he made the high chief there. I couldn't, just going to say it, and I forgot. Really, that's how you're getting old.
Now, you joined did you join any?
Yeah, he stayed there. He stayed there on the whole Navy. He made the Navy his whole career.
Wow, it's a lifer.
Yeah.
Now, did you join any veterans organizations?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I belong to the whole 4 of them.
Yeah.
Legion, Veteran of Foreign Wars, Purple Heart, and I'm a Purple Heart lifer.
Yeah.
For life. Yeah. And I'm also a DSM, Disabled American Veteran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did your military experience influence your thinking about war or the military in general?
After I was discharged, 3 weeks to a month, I get a telegram from the Army.
Right.
They asked me to come back into the Army, and they'll give me my sergeant rate back,
Right.
and I can be cadre. Cadre is teaching the fellows.
Recruits or?
Yeah, recruiting the young.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my mother took the
She didn't want you to go back in?
hell no,
No.
no, because I would have been in the infantry again.
Yeah. You didn't want
No,
She didn't
no.
want it. Would you have done it though if your mom didn't do it?
If my father had lived,
Yeah.
you know, and she had, you know, help, because I was doing the help with her.
Right.
I gave her e-allotment. I gave half of my money to help her. I used to send money
Yeah.
home when I was in the service to help her.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother's a wonderful, wonderful woman. And I would have gone back if my father had lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I love my country. I'm American. I'm going to fight for it.
now, what kind of activities does your poster association have? Do you get
My what?
your poster association, the organizations belong to? Do you have any activities that you guys?
Well, we meet the veteran of foreign war. His name is John White,
Yeah.
and we meet every so often. But I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for me to
Yeah.
get there. But I do go to the round table. That's the 8th Air Corps.
Okay.
That's from all over Connecticut. All the fellas who were pilots, and very few Second World War men
Yeah.
are there. Most of them are from Korea and Vietnam.
Right.
The Vietnam boys have taken over, in other words.
Yeah.
There's hardly any of us left.
And did you ever attend any reunions at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, just 2 days ago, that's how they got you to get to the round table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right across the street.
That's where they got.
Where we met.
Oh, okay. Now, how did your service and experiences affect your life?
Oh, boy. All I can tell you in short, it changed me.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you. I'm not the way I used to be.
Yeah. Now, is there anything you'd like to add that we didn't cover in the interview? And we could talk more off the record too, if you'd like.
I'm willing to take a lie detector test about the poor fellas I saved,
Well, I have no doubt about that.
and if they want to, you know, they claim if you save one fella, you get the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
I don't know how, you know, how that goes or what. But at my age, what the hell's the difference?
Could always look into it, but we'll talk more off the record on that. But as far as that goes, as far as the interview goes, I'm going to conclude it there, and we'll talk more off camera. But I want to thank you for your interview and your time, and I truly appreciate your service and what you did for your country.
Thank you.
It means a lot to me, and also to all the other Americans. You know, that what you did was a very honorable thing. I certainly appreciate that, and I think others
Yeah.
that are going to watch it in the future forever. Whoever sees this will also appreciate it too. And I want to thank you again for your time.
I'm very lucky. It's unbelievable to think that, you know, I went through all that since the water, you know, and, you know, coming home, and unbelievable. When I crossed, they talk about feeling. One professor, incidentally, I can tell you something if you really want to learn more. This professor, Stephen Ambrose,
Right.
remember that name?
That sounds familiar.
He's a professor in Harvard.
Uh-huh.
He did all the armies as to who was the best army in the world.
Yeah.
He did the Japanese, the Germans, and
Right.
the English, the Russians, you know. And I think I'll let you punch the computer to find out.
Yeah.
Who do you think he said who was the best in the world? And I can tell you why.
America?
He said he wrote 3 or 4 books about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said the American's the best soldier in the world.
Yeah.
And the reason he is, he doesn't need a leader to make him move.
Yeah.
He does it on his own, and it's true. Germans, when they lose their sergeant or lieutenant, they don't know what the hell to do next. They're so used to being rigidly controlled.
Yeah.
You know, where GI, even a private or a PFC, and they're fighting, and a lieutenant or a
Yeah.
sergeant gets killed. It's like, come on, let's get them.
Yeah,
Just-
they take
and
control,
they'll still go.
and that's why
They won't stop.
And that's why he
That's
thought of
why. That's why we're better.
I'm definitely not going to disagree on that.